Hello and welcome back to the TTP Field Manual Podcast. On today's episode, we are doing another one of these little data drop formats where we are basically going to gloss over the rules that have been recently added to 40k. We do this when it's, not too much of a courtesy release, but all the other stuff, supplements. Yeah. Now we're going to be also doing a little discussion on all the balance stuff that just came out days ago. Isn't that right, Zach?
It certainly is.
Welcome back, sir.
Woo woo! 11th edition. Yeah, raise the roof.
11th edition. Woohoo! You were meant to be present for the last 11th edition chit chat we did. Sleepyhead.
Yes, sleepy indeed.
How are you finding the new edition, sir?
Well, I've only played one game so far, and I think one of the people that we play with summed it up quite well in that it kind of just feels like 10.5, which is not a bad thing at all. Not a whole lot changed really, but it still feels really good.
It's a really decent balance patch.
Yeah,
I'm really enjoying it. There's definitely a lot of minutia to sink your teeth in. Even with the new balance patch that's come out, they've been ironing out a lot of the rules that are shifting into the ecosystem of the new edition, and there's a lot to keep in mind and things slipping by the cracks. I played a game and then looked at the rules. I was like, oh, I missed that. Whoops. Yeah, it'd be a good few months of getting to grips with it all. I'm glad that they've already done a balance patch and addressed some of the issues and have started to work on the various aspects that I think actually, now that I'm saying it out loud, I think before the balance patch came out, you and I were chatting about, how do we think they're going to balance the game? Are they going to change force dispositions? Are they going to change the detachment points costs? Are they going to change points of units of war gear? The answer is all of the above.
Yeah.
Already. They're already changing all of the above. It's good.
No, it's really good because I think in that conversation you highlighted that there are now so many more knobs that they can tweak just a smidge to see how it all feels, which is
a few knobs.
Excellent. It's really, really good.
Yeah, it'll be good to get into it. Before we do get into it, though, we are going to smush in some Kill Team stuff, in particular, Exodites.
Heck yes.
You and I are such Exodite pushers, and then they're like, here you go. I'm like, oh, okay. Yes, actually. Good.
Yeah, personally, I'm a big fan of the concept. The models, I have some reservations about, but yes, very keen for these, and I'm glad you are too.
Well, think of it this way. They did a kill team of Corsairs, and then 2 to 3 years later, I mean, that's still a long time, but 2 to 3 years later, to be fair, I hadn't even painted my Corsair voice guard when they released more Corsairs, so, it's a good step in the right direction.
Oh, I didn't even think of it.
Give it 12th edition and we'll have a whole sub-faction.
I didn't even think of it that way. Damn.
Oh, a lot of Kill Team stuff they're using as like a toe in the pond for larger faction supplements. Krieg Guardsman comes to mind.
Yep. Night Lords.
Kroot for the Tau.
Yeah.
Night Lords. Imperial Agents.
Oh no, are we going to get a Vespid Stingwing? What is it? Vespid.
You got it right the first time.
Oh, okay. That just doesn't sound right. Vespid Stingwing faction. Fair enough.
I don't know. I feel like flying strange bird bug things is less popular overall as a concept than carnivorous. What would you even call the Kroot? Crocodile people? Little reptile men?
They are like reptile of some sort. Yeah. I don't know if crocodile is the right word. I would imagine them more akin to like just a really big
Krootcodiles.
I was thinking more of like an iguana.
That's a good one.
I don't, but that's only like really in the facial shape. But I don't have them pulled up in front of me. But I do have these Exodites pulled up in front of me.
Oh, are we looking at the Warcom article where they are aligned in a big diorama with some Harlequins?
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah. Oh dear. I'm a big fan of it. Exodites, sir. I knew we were going to get them. I felt them in my rune bones, my race bones. I could tell we were getting them, but I didn't think we would get full-on Dragon Knights in a kill team setting, no doubt. They're three big dudes and a couple of little token creatures. This is like the most elite kill team we've ever seen.
What form did you think they were going to take?
I was envisioning a visual words are so hard today. A visual mix match of the Corsairs, like everyone's a little unique, everyone's a little bit different, with maybe a bit more of the design space of the Sylvaneth from AOS, bit of like roots and branches and wooden aesthetics, like gun stocks, runic blades with more like wooden curvature handles, spears that were not like the craft welder spears, but more of a...
Right, okay.
Dragon Knights, to be fair, have been a thing in the lore for ages. So I'm not actually all that surprised we got Dragon Knights.
Okay.
But I was not expecting their first release via Kill Team to be dudes on dragon mounts.
Yeah, okay.
What were you envisioning?
Oh, I had no idea.
No idea?
No idea.
Just some Aeldari backpackers
but I
wearing
suppose
flip-flops.
From what I've heard of them, like in brief snippets, I did imagine more of a like wood elf aesthetic.
Yeah.
So I can totally understand why you would think that. But they're here and they're pretty cool, except for the dragons.
Dude. All right. Elephant in the room. What's your qualm?
Okay, I have another qualm. But
what's your two qualms?
Personally, I'm not a fan of their very sharp facial features. I think it looks a little too bird-like for my liking. And also, I realized today, why are they so buff in the arms?
The dragons?
Yes. Like, they don't have...
Right. I get what you mean.
Like, look at them. They're like...
They look more bipedal than quadrupedal.
A little bit, yeah. And I suppose that's just because of, I don't know, assumptions. But yeah, man, they're gonna tear things apart, which is good, I suppose.
I think this is more of the close quarter variant of what we'll surely get in the future. In lore, we know that there are more pterodactyl-like dinos. There are more Brachiosaurus style, like large walkie ones with the big necks and artillery on the back. So I imagine this is more, and of course it's for Kill Team as well, so it is already close quarter. These look like fellows that could scale small buildings, peel around corners, do some close quarter, like fisticuffs, if you will. But then when they need to, they could maybe leap across the ground if they really need to.
I hadn't even considered the climbing aspect, but I think I would win in an arm wrestle against a T-Rex. These guys, I'm not so sure. I think I'm losing to these guys.
They have some pretty cute little jewelry pieces, I must admit. The little ringlets on their tails and their wrists, I suppose, if we're going with the whole arms versus legs thing. Okay, head aside, though, and arms aside, do you feel like they're dynamic enough? Do you feel like they've got an otherwise decent design and that you like the direction to begin with of Exodites?
I think that the paint scheme complements them perfect. Like that blue, stunning. Along with the crisp blue and teal riders on the back, looks phenomenal.
I'm a big fan of teal.
And yeah, the posing is quite dynamic, which is awesome. It shows off their body super well. Like, I don't think that they're like angled awkwardly. Like sometimes you see models and it's like, oh, that's a weird. Why they pose like that? But no, they look really good. Very, very imposing. Fantastic.
And the Dragon Knight riders, you like them?
Yeah, I do.
I'm now noticing that they actually have a lot more of a cloak aesthetic than I otherwise noticed when I first looked at them. I think it's because I was looking at the one that's not as robed. But now I realize that they have more robes than I previously thought.
I think it's also because of the coloring, the details like that sort of blend in a bit. And also, we haven't seen like a lot of angles. There's only been if I'm not mistaken, like a couple of images released. But yeah, no, they have some cloaks and stuff, which is cool.
I find it really fun that the Dragon Knights have laser lancers. Like the Shining Spear laser lancers.
Yeah.
They just have those. They don't have the anti-vehicle monster thing. But imagine, if you will, you're a craft welder, you're a Shining Spear aspect warrior going vroom vroom and piercing the hearts of knights and tanks and all of that. And then you think, nah, this is too much fun. I'm going to go over to the hippies and ride dinos instead.
Yep.
But let's look at the Dragon Knight's datasheet, sir.
Sure.
Movement 10. Yikes. Toughness 5 with 4 wounds apiece. That is a spicy Aeldari. 4-up save. I'm scared for them. What do you think?
Why is 10 inches of movement a yikes?
I'm saying yikes to the 4-up save. That's what I'm saying yikes to.
Oh, yikes. Oh, okay. My apologies.
10 inch is good, especially because I got battle focus, the Aeldari faction rule. They get more movement, don't worry.
Yeah. Okay. My apologies. Yeah, 4-up save suck. I think you said that they're going to die to like a strong sneeze, which I do agree. It is a bit rough, but no, super mobile. Just slightly more toughness, which makes sense. They're unarmored, mounted dudes.
I don't think they have points yet. Let me have a quick look at the Aeldari.
Been refreshing, and last time I checked, I don't think they do. I've just noted
every 5 minutes, where are the points?
I've just noted on their datasheet they have the mobile keyword.
They sure do.
Which, if I'm not mistaken, I did not notice that before. So they can move through terrain. That's really cool.
That's very helpful.
Yeah,
that's gonna key up some very interesting lines of play, especially if we then look at their abilities. Now, I'm noticing that with some of the recent Orc stuff and now the Exodites, I'm noticing data sheets are starting to beef themselves up a little bit more. Not to the levels they were on 9th edition, holy moly. But 10th edition really stripped things back. You get 1 ability, maybe 2 of your special. Here we've got 2 and a token ability. On the hunt, when the unit is selected to make a fallback move, that fallback move does not prevent the unit from being eligible to shoot and eligible to declare a charge. Humongous. Agile Reach, 2nd ability. When this unit is selected to fight melee weapons equipped by unengaged models in this unit that are within 3 inches of an enemy unit that is engaged with the unit overall, they can then target that enemy. So we don't need to have them all be particularly close together because they got those big long spears. So their reach and ability to reposition, provided they don't die to the big sneezes, pretty good. That's exactly what you want from Aeldari units.
Absolutely. I do really like seeing their agile reach ability, because what that means is it opens it up to other stuff potentially down the road as well. Because if I'm not mistaken, AOS has range on their melee weapons. So things like spears will have more range than something like a sword. So seeing that open up in 40k is really cool.
And it makes sense when you actually have those slightly awkward ovular bases that cavalry tend to have.
Yeah.
It makes this whole I can't quite fit this base in. Does that mean I'm just crap out of luck for using them for their intended role?
Yep.
No, not right now. Not if you're a Dragon Knight.
Yep, 100%.
Token ability, a bit less hot on. Tracker Leaf, the little dino doggies they've got. When an enemy unit ends the move within 8 inches of this unit, if this unit is unengaged, or if that enemy unit ended that move engaged with the Dragon Knight's unit, you can use the ability. If you do, roll a d6. On a 3+, the enemy unit suffers 1 mortal wound. I don't see this as being particularly key to start something, but perhaps finish something. If a character, for example, is trying to get away with their 1 measly wound, that's great. I actually see that as a great line of play. Otherwise, I'm a little confused why bother a little bit, but I guess you need to make use of the Kill Team token.
If I was to hazard a guess, I would say that's exactly what this is. Yeah, 2 wounds at most, 66% chance on like each of them. But chip damage is chip damage, I suppose.
Well, speaking of damage, sir, those laser lancers.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. So they do have assault on the laser lance. So as at range, albeit 6 inches, they'll get an attack each, a 3-up save to do 6-2-3. So you're usually meeting an elite infantry on 3 or 4 at most to wound. Then they are saving at 4-5, depending on an invulnerable save or, just whatever. But 3 damage. Every one of those saves is going to neuter a Terminator without a Storm Shield. It's going to get an Inner Circle dude. It's going to get a Flawless Blade. suddenly your enemy's elite infantry are down a model, perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the Dragon Knights tag into combat, it's that, but with 3 times as much offensive power as they are in melee. 3 attacks each, with Lance as a keyword.
Mm-hmm.
And so depending on what you're fighting, potentially the Dragon Knights are slamming into infantry, wounding on 2s, AP 2, 3 damage. And that's before you consider the dinos themselves also claw in. It's good.
Yeah.
That's so decent.
It's very good. Really helps with also running in that ranged laser lance profile. Also helps with like running into something that might have fights first, potentially cutting down on the risk of running into stuff, which is super nice because these guys are not super tough. They only have a 4-up save, no invuln, no feel, no pain, which is a bit of a shame, but super mobile, which is good.
And with Lance, you could even punch them up into lighter vehicles or even finish off walkers.
Also,
so that's also really sweet. That's something really nice to consider.
Sure is.
Anything else you wanted to remark on before we look at the tremendous amount of character options you receive?
Are you running these as a group of 3 or a group of 6?
Oh, I think in a typical game of 2K, you're going to probably run them as a unit of 3 with maybe a character.
Oh, not character and support? Because I think I would love to run these guys as a 6, but I have a feeling they're going to be way too expensive especially when you tack on the character and the support.
It depends on detachment support, I think. It depends
that's true as well.
on what keys off of them. And by that I mean, do we get Exodite detachment, a 1 DP option to buff them? If so, really decent.
Yeah.
I think you could actually see some play lines with them with some of the more niche detachments, such as the Corsair side of things. I think they actually fit in really well with, just that whole game plan. So that's something to consider for yourself, Zach. I know you already are, but
oh baby,
consider it more.
I'm already cooking.
Oh, have you got a cook? Have you got a little recipe together?
Well, not at the moment in terms of list because I don't know the points, but I have sanding twigs now.
Sanding sticks.
I got my sanding sticks today. I've got a box of Void Scarred Corsairs and 2 boxes of Agrodon Lancers. And
oh boy,
oh boy,
oh boy. That's good though.
Shall we talk about the Clanblade?
Yeah. So if you are getting a box of these Dragon Knights, and you will only be able to get them in their extremely sold out Exodite Kill Team box set until 3 months or so pass, and you can buy them as solos. But if you don't want to build them as the generic unit, there are 3 character options because of Kill Team stuff. Everyone's a unique fellow. Really cool. 40k, there are 3 character options. Clanblade, Stonesinger, Leystalker. You like the Clanblade, huh?
I mean, I'm not as big on the Clanblade as I am the Stonesinger. I think the Stonesinger is really good.
Yeah, they're correct.
I'm not too familiar with how supports and leaders work. So
you smush them together.
But can you run a support with a unit without a leader? I think that the leader is still good because he provides what is it? When an enemy unit engaged with this unit is selected to make a fallback move, that unit must use the Desperate Escape mode. If that enemy is battle shocked, they -1 from those hazard rolls, which I think is very nice. I think, actually, I feel like it might be a little bit of a non-bo because of how tanky, because of this unit's stat profile. I think people are going to want to sit and fight them as opposed to running away, with the potential for them to just catch up and charge them again with Lance and all that nonsense. But this unit's melee attacks also have sustained hits 1. So if they weren't cracked enough already, there you go. That's really nice. This guy has a pretty similar weapon profile to the base warriors, except he doesn't have the lances. He has Moonblades, lethal hits, twin linked. So he has a twin set of swords, if I'm not mistaken. 5 attacks, hitting on 2s, strength 4, AP 2, 2 damage. So not quite as potent as the Lancers, but he is more of a buff piece to the unit. Still really good. He's still another body in that unit. He also lowers the leadership requirement from a 7 to a 6, which is pretty cool too.
To answer your previous question, though, it doesn't look like you need to bring a leader to use a support.
Oh, okay.
Because they key leader and support as like this or that. You know, do you have a leader or a support? You can have a leader and a support. If you're attacking an attached unit, that attached unit has a leader/support unit, so blah, blah, blah.
Okay. I wasn't sure if you had to attach a leader to then attach a support, but that's good to know.
Doesn't seem like it.
Very cool. Tell us about Mr. Cracked himself, Joshua.
Mr. Cracked himself. Well, you know, you've already talked about Clanblade. Sus 1's always decent, and I completely agree with your cornered prey. I do think if you're like, hey, you'll have to do this thing if you leave. Okay, I just won't leave.
Yeah, it's still good to have though.
But
I suppose.
Yeah, but with that said, Stonesinger is just really good.
He's so nutty.
I look at Clanblade, I'm like, yeah, great. I don't want to play with you anymore. When you look at Stonesinger, or maybe I'm just overly fussing it. But regardless, Stonesinger. If Clanblade is just your classic warrior leader, Stonesinger is your mage. Stonesinger is some psyche unit on a dinosaur, which in of itself is really, really cool. They have an ability, Elemental Ensnarement. At the end of your fight phase, if the unit is not battle shocked, you can use this ability. And if you've got that other dude in, you're probably not battle shocked all that often, unless you're me, who always flippin' fails this check every time. I'll save everything. I'll get 6s on the hits and Devi wounds left and right, but I need to do a battle shock test. Anyway, you can use this ability. If you do, roll a d6. On a 1, the unit is battle shocked. Oh no. Or you can select one visible enemy monster vehicle unit within 18. That enemy unit is ensnared. -2 movement. Look, it's all right. You know, it's okay. You can select something that the rest of the sort of Dragon Knight unit types are not really worrying about. You know what I mean? Like they don't really interact with monster vehicles so often. So preventing like a transport tank or a walker or something from moving as much can be actually quite clutch, especially if you consider pivot takes 2 inches of movement away from that unit.
Oh, yeah.
The amount of times I've gone to move a vehicle and it doesn't quite get where I want because of pivot, it infuriates me. So ensnare me and I will be infuriated. But there's so many attacks. Interesting. Did you notice the error on the datasheet?
No, I didn't.
Venom Crest splits a torrent weapon with a BS skill.
Oh, yes, I did see people talking about this.
It's whatever. Just don't worry about it.
It sucks that it has to hit on 6s, but it is what it is. Because, you know, Games Workshop would never make a mistake.
No, they would never.
I mean, these things happen.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah, Stonesinger has a lot of attacks. The Song of Waning, I love whatever they name psychic stuff because it's always so thematic, but then it's like, it's just a strength 4. But Song of Waning, anti-monster, vehicle 3+. So all of a sudden, we've got a little bit of anti-big stuff in this little faction that we didn't have otherwise. And the fact that it's support and goes alongside the Clanblade, you can then suddenly be looking at things like sustained hits. You can imagine a world with cornered prey combining with this whole ensnarement theme. The solar carbines that all of them have, by the way, is a nice little bit of like 401 rapid fire stuff for picking off some lighter infantry. The melee weapons, we have the Stone Stay for anti-non-monster vehicle 2+ on a psychic thing, which I neglected to mention. But psychic does not care for modifiers in this edition, which is so cool. I love that a lot. It's really fun. And so you'll be hitting on 3s, sustain hits, wounding vehicles and monsters on a 2+. And yeah, it's AP1, but those 2 damages are going to really start to stack up. And I think when you look at Stonesinger individually, it's not so cracked, but you combine it with the Clanblade, maybe you look at a big unit of Dragon Knights, and there's a weirdly terrifying Death Star going on. It's not the most obvious Death Star. I would say there are better Death Stars, but this is something that Aeldari, I think, didn't really have in their mounted stuff, to be honest.
I'm not too familiar with Aeldari, but personally...
Not yet, anyway.
Not yet. It looks quite scary. I'm very, very keen to be running these.
You like the Stonesinger though? You want to run it?
Oh yeah.
You like it? Or do you think it falls short?
Yes, of course. I think it's a great tech piece to add into this unit. I mean, I feel like a lot of armies will run maybe like 2 to 3 vehicles as a standard. And so you can -2 to movement on one and then go attack another, or do some damage, do some chip damage with the Stonesinger on another, then charge your Exodites into that one, picking off one but crippling the other, which is quite nice.
Well, speaking of picking on things and doing little chip damages, do we want to talk about the roguish character, the Leystalker, the ranger who traded their jet bike for a dino?
Sure, yeah. How do you feel about the Leystalker?
Well, when considering that there are different play styles in your primary game now, having like a decent lone op, Scouts 9, high movement tech is actually a lot stronger than you might realize if you're just focusing on the damage profile. With that said, the long rifle is a 623 precision weapon. So you line this thing up from a very comfortable back of the board. You shoot twice, you probably hit twice on ballistic skill 2, maybe 3 if there's something going on. Strength 6 usually wounds most characters on, well, most infantry on 3s. Some armies that's on 2s. AP 2 is starting to push you towards like a coin flip save. You might hit a deadly wound, but the thing about precision is that you actually have to take the low rolls now when allocating saves.
Yeah.
And so if you're shooting a lone target, this isn't so good. But if you're trying to get something out of a squad, perhaps that your other Dragonites are going to try and charge, but maybe there's like the fight first sort of thing. Maybe there's a buffing to the save thing going on. They fail. They roll like 2 1s or 2 2s or whatever. Boom, done. Character's dead just from this one guy.
Yep.
And then if there's no targets, well, you could go and do an action. You could go do a scoring. And when the unit has shot, you select an enemy unit that was hit by the attacks, and they get to make a battle shock with -1 to the battle shock roll. All of a sudden, you've just potentially killed a character and flipped them off an objective or limited out their use of stratagems because they just failed a battle shock just from one guy.
You know what?
At first thought I was like, Leystalker kind of mid, but I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, you know what?
We're in a new game, baby.
You're selling me on it, and especially now because battle shock doesn't wear off between between phases of the game. You sustain that battle shock mode until you essentially roll a roll that gets you out of it. I suppose this guy is a little more potent than I first thought, which is really cool. Okay, they're all pretty good. Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah. And a lot of the other rangers, I don't think their long rifles are this strong. I think you'll miss most of your stuff, but this guy, you might actually get something going on. And I would put that down to the fact he's up a little bit higher.
Yeah.
Physics can aim down a bit.
I suppose as well, not that it particularly matters, it looks like it's the same sort of ability with the Dracolith token, but he also gets his own.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
He also gets 2 Dracolith tokens too. So you can do 4. You can do 4 mortal wounds, Josh. Crazy. Never mind, he's cracked.
Yeah, I actually find that really interesting that in the box, which has 2 Dracolith units, the Leystalker gets it. And so if you are trying to get rid of your opponent's Leystalker and you send your own assassin that way, you might just walk into a fleshy landmine.
How common do you think the Aeldari Exodite mirror match is going to be?
Oh, so slim, dude.
Do you think that's going to be something people have to prep for?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so, but I think Aeldari will see a little bit more nuance in their list building going forward. So that's nice.
I think, personally, to summarize it, I think they're not super cracked. I think that they're really, really good. And I think that they're not going to feel too oppressive. They should feel really good, which is perfect. That's where you want units to be. You don't want them to be too good because then they're going to be too expensive, which I guess we don't know these guys' points yet, but I think they should be in a good spot.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
I agree.
Good.
I completely agree with what you just said. I still think you run the Dragonites as a unit of 3 plus the 2 leaders, or 1 to 2 leaders, but if you're building characters, you're going to end up with 1 of each by the looks of it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, a unit of 5 that limits how much visibility your opponent has on that unit. It limits how easily opponents can charge and tow into engagement and all that stuff. So I think 5 is good, and I think depending on the points, 5 does more than enough damage to justify their purpose. But I'm imagining a world where at least one, maybe 2 Leystalkers could have quite a bit of interesting things going on. And I know they're Exodites, but like, why doesn't the Leystalker have the outcast keyword? Then it could pop off from all the like sniper stuff, the ranger stuff that's been coming out lately.
I totally didn't even conceive the fact that you could just have like 2 or 3 Leystalkers running around.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Oh no, I didn't finish off the leader in that unit. Oh well, the next one, you're up.
That's crazy. I did not even.
And you know what?
Think of that.
You could have 3 Leystalkers next to each other, and then someone comes for you. You Dracolith 3 times in a row.
Yeah, have them in like a hunting pack.
And they got lone op, so they have to get pretty close.
Yeah. One thing as well, I want to double check. Also, that's kind of crazy too. Their ability that forces a battle shock roll has no range on it. So it's not capped at, sometimes you see like abilities capped at 18, like we saw with the Stonesinger. This thing is as far as the gun shoots. So long as you hit, you can go battle shock their unit on their home objective if you really want to, provided that unit's not hidden, forcing them to not be in control unless they've sticked their home objective. They're no longer in control of their home, stuff like that, that's pretty good.
That is pretty good. Well, did you have anything else to mention about Exodites?
Just get Agrodon Lancers. They look cool.
They do look pretty cool. And it's a fun little kit bash challenge anyway.
Yeah. No, yourself?
No, I think when the points come out, we could maybe give a bit more context to them.
Yeah.
Whenever Aeldari gets their courtesy and all the detachment stuff really opens up and the army probably gets a little bit more of a rebalance, I think these will be a great point of discussion. But I think we've pretty much said all we're going to be able to really say. I think they're a very spicy little blender in melee against some elite infantry. And they have a interesting little tar pit thing going on with their toughness and wounds that we just don't see all that often in Aeldari.
Yeah. Fantastic.
All right. Close window. Well, before we get into the rest of the episode, hey Zaki, did you know we have a Discord?
Do we?
Apparently.
Wait, is that the same Discord that we've been playing Mecha Chameleon on?
Oh no. Is this the same Discord where people have been like, hey, how do Magic the Gathering? And I'm like, oh, we've strayed too far.
Oh, that's the one where we can interact with the community, right? People can come and ask us questions if they feel so inclined. They can keep up to date with the book club. Not that the hosts keep up to date with the book club.
Wow. I'll have you know I read it.
Oh, well, very good then. Well, that's fine. You can cut this then. It's all good.
Our guest host is not as good with reading the book.
I read Instagram subtitles. It's all good. That's the extent of my read.
But hey, Zach, did you know that was the community where you can also post your painting projects and you can also talk about other things related to the hobby, such as Warhammer video games, or you could even use it to keep up to date with my weekly announcements about what we are creating and what we've been working on.
You know what, Josh? I did know that because I joined the Discord that you can find the link to in the comments down below.
You're actually really good at this.
Thanks.
Oh, and speaking of book club, it's Horus Heresy, the First Heretic, which I think is a contender for a great first entry into the Horus Heresy, despite being title number 14. Thumbs up.
Very good.
The alternative title, I think, for that book should be Me, My Demon, and I. Oh, Argyltal, what have you done?
Oh.
Anyway, Zach,
yes.
We're in the second half of this episode.
Oh, boy.
Data drop. The second half of Data drop. We are going to be talking about a balanced data slate of sorts, or balance update, or mid-year update, or quick, we need to fix some of the factions and make other factions bad again, the update. We've actually never really covered one of these on the channel because we're kind of like, well, we're a bit late to this, but for once we're not, and we can talk about it in a timely manner.
Woo! Heck yeah.
So the game came out in like June. The new edition came out barely a month ago, like 2 months ago, barely a month and a half ago, some amount of time ago, and it's balanced time already. I don't know if they planned it that way, if this is what you would call a day one patch, or if this is just the general timeline we can expect, and in 3 months' time they'll do another one. But as we said at the very, very beginning of the episode, they are using all the knobs to balance things and tune things into a much better ecosystem. We already thought it was in a good place, but force dispositions have changed for some detachments. A couple of detachments have changed detachment points. Various units have had their points changes, and I swear to goodness, every list I made has gone up above 2,000 points. So what the hell?
To be fair, Death Guard are cheaper, so I'm all good.
Oh, sir, Death Guard. You know how I mentioned there's a lot of this sort of sweeping changes and editing text so it falls into a more cohesive, universal understanding of some rules?
Yeah.
Did you know that the Skull Squirm Blight aura changed for Death Guard?
No.
It's the -1 to hit aura thing. Apparently it only triggers in melee now, the -1 to hit.
Does it really?
Yep.
Oh.
According to the end of the faction pack where they put all the updates set at the front.
Oh, my bad, Josh. I didn't mean to cheat.
Still won, didn't I?
Oh, wow.
Oh,
You did. Hey, you said so yourself. It was a close game. No.
True that.
I didn't realize that. Interesting.
This is what I mean. And this is when we were like putting all the resources together before we hit recording. You're like, where are we finding all this information? And I was like, oh, and this one, and this one, and this one, and that one. So please go onto Warhammer Community, go to your downloads, find your faction pack, and scroll to the end. Scroll to the end.
Yes, scroll to the end.
Where they'll have changes in red. And then separately, go to the field manual, and they'll have points changes.
Oh, look at that. Change to each time a model in this unit makes a melee attack, subtract 1 from the hit roll. Well, now you just take -1 to save anyway. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, that's fine.
Well, now that one sucks.
Is what it is.
Grumble, grumble, grumble.
Grumble, grumble, grumble. You know, I think it's worth mentioning real briefly the 5 force dispositions that are now in Warhammer 40k. Your primary mission is unique to the detachment you are playing, and the mission is determined based on what your disposition is and the disposition of your opponent's army. There are 5. There is Take and Hold, which is very self-explanatory. Your mission is likely going to be based around holding objectives. Keep in mind, though, that your opponents can easily go onto the objective and take it away from you.
There is.
Number 2, Purge the Foe. Do I need to explain this one?
Kill, kill, kill.
Kill, kill, kill. Reconnaissance. This is an interesting one. This is a bit more like board control movement. You want to be sort of everywhere at once, doing little bits and pieces of an objective. Like, I'll score this over here. I'll stand over there and do this. And at the same time, your opponents are doing a fight or something. Maybe they got to purge the foe. But because you're playing reconnaissance, you're just like farming points over in the backfield or something like that. Disruption is number 4. And this is very much a bit of a flex. It's a bit of a mix of everything. You might be killing units, you might be holding objectives, you might be performing actions. It's a flex detachment. Sorry, a flex disposition. And then the 5th one is priority assets, which is the most action-heavy one. And I really like that there's these 5 separate categories, because nothing feels worse than building an action monkey list and then having to go and purge the foe. Except now, you kind of know what you're signing up for. The mission will change bit by bit depending on the disposition of your opponent. There'll be 1 of 5 depending on the matchup for your disposition. So in total, there are 25 different primary missions broken down by the 5 dispos. But yeah, just thought we'd mention that. You like dispos, eh, Zach?
New position. Who dis?
My disposition today? Grumpy.
Personally, from our first game, and trialing out the new dispositions and how they determine what mission you're playing, I found that I was out of position. No pun intended, but I was out of position on the board a little bit. But each disposition is designed to synergize with the air quotes theme of the detachment. And so theoretically, this should lead to less sort of feels bad moments in, like, let's say you're playing Kill and Kill More from 10th edition, like against Knights. Like, you can do a reconnaissance or maybe a disruption if your detachments, that's it, if your detachments have that disposition assigned to them. So I think it's really good in theory, and I'm really hoping that once we sort of get a bit more experience and learn the missions a bit more, in practice it'll feel really good too.
That's it, good sir. All right, you ready for talking about some updates? Not all the updates on every single bit and bob, but just like sweeping little, oh, look at that. Ultramarines are bad now.
In the bin.
In the bin. Off they go. Bye-bye, poster boys.
Yes, Ultramarines are a little more expensive now, so that's unfortunate.
One of my meme lists was 1,000 points of Ultramarine units, like just Ultramarines, just like leaders in some Victrix Guard. Can't do it now. Yep. Got to make the list again.
Damn, that sucks.
Yeah, several detachments got made different in their dispositions. For me, sort of most notably, is that the Iron Hands detachment has changed from Purge the Foe to Priority Assets. So now my big Terminator boys can just sit there and do actions, which is very nice.
Ooh.
Very easy.
Very cool.
The Salamander options, Firestorm Assault Force and Forge Father, have also changed off from being Purge the Foe to Priority Assets, which Forge Father Seekers, Zach, you can have Infernus Marines shoot and do actions.
But I want to kill everything.
Well, you still can, and you probably will.
You know what? I think that's, now that you've spelt it out for me, I think that's a really good change. I'm definitely happy with that.
It's a really good change.
Yeah, yep.
Purge the Foe sounds easy in practice, but like you said, what if you're up against Knights? What's a bunch of Torrent Flamers gonna do?
Nothing. Absolute diddly.
Absolute piddly squat.
Ironstorm Spearhead. Ironstorm Spearhead is now taken hold instead of Purge. That's cool. Hopefully they're moving a little bit away from Purge being the default, including some different flavors. Hopefully that's good. Fulgarius Task Force becomes Reconnaissance instead of Disruption, and Subversion Assets, I don't even know what that is, but that's cool, is now Disruption and no longer Reconnaissance. Heck yeah.
That one I don't know about is now a thing.
What is that?
So, Subversion Assets is the 1 DP Phobos unit detachment they came out with.
Oh, okay, cool.
But overall, I think we won't sort of mention every single update, just like the big players. Ironstorm Spearhead, though, is pretty funny as taken hold because this was the like generic Iron Hands detachment without being Iron Hands specific, like Hammer of Averni. Ironstorm, you want tanks and you want dreadnoughts and you want to just sit them there and shoot. So that's actually really thematic.
Yeah. Yep.
But for points with Space Marines, Ultramarines, as we just said, got heaps of points. Most characters went up by 10 to 15 points, including like Wardens of Ultramar, Victrix Guard. Tigurius actually got cheaper, but he's also a little worse now. How is he worse?
Oh no!
I will tell you.
While you're, I'm assuming, looking that up, Librarians are more expensive. No, they're not an auto-include.
No. Oh, I have an interesting thing to mention about that. But now, Tigurius gives his unit stealth and -1 to be hit in melee. Why? Because what people were realizing was that a lot of characters were able to do like hit stacking, where you could hit those -2 brackets by overlapping rules like really easily. But now they're trying to combat that by making several units who give these like a buff, like a debuff from there, debuff from there. Just this sort of blanket change, like it's just stealth now, actually.
Right.
So it's working around this combo where suddenly your units going from hitting on 3s to now like 5s or something, you know?
And that's, sorry to draw back to there, but that's probably why the Death Guard detachment aura ability got changed as well, because now we have hidden.
Probably, yeah. It's a very good shout.
So it prevents you from stacking that. Anyway, sorry to interrupt.
No, it's all right.
Tigurius, no.
But yeah, librarians. So they're not dead in the water. Just one particularly lethal combo is dead in the water, and that was the Fusillade. This was you put a librarian with Stern Guard, gives that unit anti-monster vehicle 5+, which is really nutso considering Stern Guard all have Devi wounds and they reroll wounds on an oath target, which meant that I happily one-tapped Magnus in a round of shooting with them. That's kind of silly.
Damn.
I don't think you should have like a 1 DP oh, look at that, a quarter of my opponent's army, they're dead without much fuss.
Wow.
You know, that seems a little overtuned.
Yeah.
It was a fun bit of overtuning. I definitely enjoyed it a lot. Am I sad it's gone? Yeah. But look at any top Space Marine list at the moment, and it was like 1 DP, Librarius Conclave, Sternguard Fusillade. That's how they got probably to the first or second spot.
Personally, I think that them bumping up the points slightly and making librarians a little more expensive is not too bad. And sort of, as far as I'm aware, they haven't changed library. Oh no, they have. Okay, never mind. Anyway, bumping them up is fine.
The Fusillade detachment Fusillade got changed though. It does lethal hits now instead of anti-monster vehicle.
Right.
Which seems quite egregious when the points of these units also got adjusted in a negative way. Because it's like, it feels like the similar overreactions we complained about in previous editions.
Okay.
Oh, look, a combo. Let's make the points worse for you. Let's reduce the keywords of this. Let's make that stratagem cost more. Like those kind of like stacks on stacks of debuffs and nerfs never feels good.
No, I agree. Lethal hits isn't like too much of a disparity or like a separation from increasing the wound though. Like you're hitting, if you get a crit hit, then you bypass the wound roll. So it doesn't feel too bad, at least from what I'm looking at, but we can fight in person about this.
Yeah, I still think there are some play lines. A lot of the First Company flavored detachments, which is First Company, Emperor's Shield, Hammer of Averni, of which they did lose Purge the Foe, all key off Sternguard units though, because Sternguard are veterans and First Company.
Yeah.
So Sternguard actually get quite a bit of play from those detachments, but now they also aren't Purge the Foe.
Yeah.
So Sternguard got kneecapped a little bit, but they're still good units. I played them a lot before Librarius was even a thing, and I enjoyed my time with them. What else we got though? Let's skim through and look at some good stuff. Lieutenant with Combi Weapon is now 95 points. Holy fuck. That's so expensive. It was like 65 to begin with.
Oh, okay, that is the one I was thinking of.
This is the Lone Op Action Monkey.
Wow. Well, it's
the guy with the 2 swords.
Wasn't he kind of an auto-include in every list, and so this sort of taxes that? So
yeah, he makes one particular objective better for you to attack the units that are standing on it.
Yeah.
While he himself is like lone op doing objectives in the side.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's really good. But now he's 95 points. So yeah. Infernus went up by 10 if you take them in a squad of 10. So now they are 180 points. A lot of the things like aggressors actually got cheaper, which I find interesting. Maybe you sort of still bring a bit of aggressor, a bit of Infernus in your salamanders and be okay. Storm speeders, repulsors, vanguards, they all went up in points by a little bit. And so I think a lot of the top builds will need to be reconsidered. Couple of things else that I think really are interesting though is Blade Guard veterans have had a data sheet ability reworked. You used to be able to reroll invuln saves of 1 or reroll hits of 1. Now, instead you choose if they are getting +1 to hit or -1 to be hit. I think that's much better.
Oh, that's cool.
That is cool. Another cool thing, company heroes can be now fielded without having a captain or chapter master attached.
Oh.
Yeah, indeed. But yeah, that's some Space Marines. Pretty much all the other Space Marine stuff, like the supplemented ones, Black Templars, Angels, Space Wolves, didn't get a whole lot of changes. Black Templars had a lot of their characters get a slight bit cheaper, but their repulsor execution actually did go up by 20 points if you're bringing that heavy laser destroyer, which you totally were. A couple of their detachments changed off, and so they have a little bit of a different play style now and how they go about disruption or purge the foe. Blood Angels got no bloody changes, just about. Dark Angels got a lot of changes around their Raven Wing mobile stuff. Something particularly scary is that Lionel Johnson now has mobile. So he can just walk through the walls now, which is really scary. He's cheaper too, so that's scary actually. And Raven Wing command squads are now support rather than leader. So you can have a big stack of Outriders or Black Knights, combine with the command squad, combine with a chaplain, and it's just like, oh, that's a very fast doom blob coming right at you.
That's pretty scary.
Deathwatch didn't really change, and Space Wolves did have a slight adjustment around their character things. Funnily enough, if you were to bring 30 Terminators, it's cheaper by 30 points.
Nice.
But yeah, that's pretty much Space Marines in a nutshell. What do you think?
Yeah. Lionel Johnson running through walls is kind of scary. I forgot that for a moment that the Imperial or the Adeptus Astartes Primarchs are considered monsters as well as the Chaos ones. So that took a minute to realize. That's pretty cool though. Very, very scary.
Oh yeah, dude. Even like Fulgrim in Chaos got mobile, and he's humongous.
Yeah. Scary stuff.
I think a lot of the supplementive chapters need a bit more work put into them. They don't strike me as having their own particular identities. Dark Angels having a Ravenwing build makes them feel like just a better White Scar chapter, which is wrong. But overall, I think when supplements start coming out and Codex Space Marines comes out, we'll see a lot more dynamic shift going on. So I'm keen to get that in the next couple of months, and then we could say whether Space Marines are actually scary or not.
It'll just take time for things to sort of fall in place.
Yeah.
So
I think there are definitely factions that are top of the food chain, and there are factions that are so low on the food chain. Supposedly orcs are a meta menace and are in like the top 5 factions, if not the top of the game, which most of 10th edition they were so not.
Yeah. That's also to be expected with the fact that they're one of the releasing factions, so correct?
Yeah. We'll see what happens in like a year or two down the line when the rules have been out for a little bit.
Yep.
But it's not so shifted away from 10th, so maybe that'll be just good.
Speaking of menaces, Adeptus Sororitas.
Oh my lord, I've been waiting to talk about my girls. Big Sisters player here.
There's a lot of changes. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Big Sisters player. You know, they are a little bit trickier to play well. Not too many people play them as a result, despite how baller they look. These chicks give me a headache to play, but it feels good to do so. Interesting stuff.
Absolute masochist.
Yeah, I know. There's one humongous change that I think is like the thing to talk about overall. Miracle Dice have been FAQ'd. Slow rolling is disallowed.
Oh. So you cheated too.
Well, this just came out, Zach. So Miracle Dice allow you to have one of the roles be substituted. Now, historically, Warhammer has allowed this sense of slow rolling with people just being like, oh, come on, hurry up. And so people gravitated towards a fast rolling. Some rules, such as how wounds are allocated, are leaning into making the idea of fast rolling fair, where normally it's the slow rolling that is the most fair. Miracle Dice allows a little bit of a cheaty energy because you can roll all the dice except for one and be like, yeah, I'll use a miracle. And for a lot of Sisters players, this was just the way to do it. This was their faction rule. You know, people weren't usually too fast because like, yeah, you only have a small pool of this dice, whatever. Now you have to decide ahead of time if you want that hit, wound, save, etc. to be one of your miracles. What that can mean is you might potentially have wasted it on rolling really well in the rest of the pool of dice, or maybe it's as clutch as you wanted it to be all along. Praise the Emperor. This is going to be interesting to see how Sisters play, because even like Army of Faith as a detachment has been a little bit neutered, because as well, Zach, leaders and the whole reviving leaders and whether they come back or not has been FAQ'd that if you are doing anything to revive a leader, which hilariously is like half of my playstyles, is that they revive unattached from the unit now.
Oh, because that was something that came up not in our game, but the game adjacent to us, didn't it?
Yep. So
that's interesting.
The Necrons were being particularly greedy with this by doing reanimation protocols after you've Eternal Revenanted. Now, with the whole like a unit with leaders and supports is one unit. That unit is not destroyed unless every model in that unit is destroyed, which means if you're playing a sister squad where there's a unit, a leader, maybe a support, you don't get 2 or 3 miracle dice. on the death of those units. You get 1.
Oh, wow. You know what? This also, maybe not as impactful, but this also is a bit of a buff for precision as well. Because if you're precisioning out a character that reses themselves, they don't res themselves in the unit.
Exactly.
Damn.
So like Khan, Fugan.
All right, Leystalker stocks are up.
Yeah, Leystalker stacks up through the roof, man. This is interesting because in 10th edition, we had this mindset of more characters all the time.
Yeah.
Because you can sort of cheat around such things. Now it's like, do I actually want that? Because leaders don't need to be in units to give their leadership abilities now. It's just their unit has those abilities. So if the leader was like, gives this unit, like let's say stealth and -1 to be hit in melee. Now it just does, regardless of if it's in a unit or not. So,
Very interesting.
Very interesting. This will definitely impact how I sort of do a couple of my builds, particularly Necrons, I would say. But overall, I'm not too worried. It's just a little bit like I have to change how I approach playing a little bit with the Miracle Die and the precisions. Yeah, interesting. A lot of points changes have basically also made Bringers of Flame and Penitent Host decent strategies. Bringers of Flame is now 2 detachment points instead of 3, and has changed from Purge to Foe to priority assets. So that's interesting because now you can combine them with 1 DP, which you couldn't before. They were a 3 DP. This is, to me, interesting from the 1 DP detachment, which brings Exorcists and Flying Girls into the forefront, because Seraphim have Hand Flamers, which are already really good in Bringers of Flame. We were talking about, what about this whole, you can't combine 2 thematically similar detachments together because of a keyword restriction. Now it's like, I want to test it out a little bit. How strong does this make some units?
Yeah.
But yeah, heaps of units went down in points, which means more sisters. It's fine with me.
Hey, that's good.
It's good. Skimming through factions we don't sort of play as often, Adeptus Custodes
down in points
has not had too much changes.
A little bit.
The big ships lost the frame keyword, which is like no one cares because these were extremely expensive, like 800 point models. Who cares? Moving on.
What keyword? Frame keyword. Okay.
Yeah, they've changed how vehicles are keyworded for to separate things like aircraft vehicles, that kind of stuff.
Okay, cool.
Vehicle walker, vehicle big armor, that kind of stuff. Yeah, a couple small point changes for them. Mechanicus have had a couple of detachment dispositions swapped around. Well, actually just 1. But they are looking actually not too bad with some point changes, just a little bit. It'll be interesting to see how they sort of go. At the moment, I think AdMech are getting a lot of play lines because of just a 2 DP and a 1 DP combo of just very overwhelming firepower, which was always meant to be AdMech's shtick, was lots of firepower. Like they were meant to be the shooting faction for Imperium.
Okay.
And
that's good.
Did I skim through this so I could also talk about Imperial agents? Yes. They're good now.
Okay.
I don't want to hear any conflicting ideas, Zach. Agents of the Imperium have some play now.
Oh, you're being serious. Okay.
They need more models. They need more units.
Okay.
They need an army rule. However, sir, all of their detachments came out at 3 DP when 11th launched. Most of them are now 2 DP.
Oh, that's right.
Imperialis Fleet, which is the best of them because their 3 auto ones are thematic to killing a specific type of opponent. Imperialis Fleet has actually done some headway in tournaments in 10th edition. Imperialis Fleet has gone from disruption to reconnaissance. Reconnaissance, as we mentioned, is the sort of random action, kind of different objectives here and there. And because Imperial Agents is just an absolute hodgepodge of things, but...
That feels thematic.
Yeah, but my favorite thing, Veiled Blade, the 3 DP Assassins Matter one, has gone to 1 DP.
Ooh.
1 DP. With the mandatory enhancements, like the whole Catan Pantheon Woe thing, mandatory enhancements have gone way down. I counted. This makes the whole 4 assassins in a 2K list overall cheaper by 115 points.
Wow.
And you can bring the big assassin playline with Imperialis Fleet.
That's pretty cool.
There's playlines.
Heck yeah.
There's playlines.
To be fair,
Still kind of sucks though.
probably don't need to praise Warhammer for making one of their products playable, but this is really cool to see.
I'm excited. I want to make it work.
It also opens them up to 1,000-point games, which is nice with the 2DP detachments.
That was hilarious. That they had no option for a 1,000 point as written in the rules. It was really funny. That's good. You know what? More variety is never bad. That's good. That's good.
Rhino got the frame keyword. What it means, I don't know. But hey, it's got it. Awesome.
It's there.
It's there.
Well, I'll see how they go when I decide to eventually make a 2K list of Imperial agents and play them on Tabletop Simulator and not buy them. See how
I was going to say, oh man.
Astra Militarum, a bunch of points have gone down on their vehicles. Interestingly enough, though, all super heavies have been made cheaper by 30 to 40 points. Well, 35 if you want to be exactsies. So you could have a bunch of like Baneblades. You could take like 3 of the Baneblade chassis at least and save yourself 105 points. Just all off the back. If you're playing like Steel Hammer or something, which is Baneblades matter, save yourself 100 to 200 points, depending on what you're bringing.
Awesome. That's really good.
Awesome. Big thumbs up. But also, like, yeah, a lot of their other stuff are cheaper by a lot. You'll probably fit an extra unit or 2 into them now. Grey Knights, yeah, I don't have anything to say about Grey Knights except they've had some dispo shifts and some of the points have changed for the better, and a few of the rules have changed. But hilariously, one of their best play lines was having a character do that like -1 plus another debuff so that they're really hard to kill. That's no longer a thing. So maybe you put the character on the shelf now.
Damn.
We need them to have more stuff. Imperial Knights.
You mean new models?
Yeah. Imperial Knights are doing well enough, apparently, in the meta, except my beloved Knight Castellan, my favorite knight, got made 25 points more expensive, so like a whole cornerstone of my Imperial Agents play, because I needed more firepower in my list, was it a Knight Castellan's, now 25 points more expensive. Yeah, anyway, that's Imperium. Any thoughts?
Not really. I'm glad that you're happy with the sisters. Well, actually, are you happy with the sisters' changes?
I think it makes it just more streamlined, and I think it offers a bit more lines of play. I was thinking of looking into more of an Army of Faith detachment because they key off the flying units, which are my favorite. But overall, I think with the whole nerfing to how many miracle dice you can get out of lead units, I probably won't look at it anymore. So that's like a detachment that's a little dead to me, which never feels good.
Yeah.
But Bringers of Flame is basically Salamander Sisters, which does interest me quite a bit. And so I might start to gravitate my little eyeballs over towards a Dominion's Immolators Seraphim featuring an Exorcist or 2 playstyle, which that does excite me, actually.
Heck yeah. That's good. No thoughts from me. Only empty head.
Excellent. Chaos, Zach. I think Chaos as a big old collective are in a really sort of interesting place. And I realize we are, well, at least, me doing a big skim here because I actually need to record an episode with Johnny very soon. But Chaos, I think, Zach, Chaos is in a really weird place. All of the factions seem to be lacking a certain je ne sais quoi,
Mm-hmm.
Demons have had a bit of a change up. There's more points and stuff. But, like the Fetid Resurgence from Plague Legion, for example, you can't bring a destroyed model back to that unit, like a character model back to the unit. So they're, removing an element from Plague Legion, which is a good way to play. The Shadows of Chaos army rule for demons means if you're returning models to a battle line unit, you just simply cannot bring back character models. And so until more stuff is added into a lot of factions, a lot of these sort of combos that people have been building up and relying on are just out the window.
Yeah.
But overall, there are some point, differences. Some characters are more expensive, some are cheaper, whatever. Chaos Knights, I would have to ask Johnny, but Chaos Knights are apparently in a bad spot. A lot of their army rule stuff is not porting over well to the new edition's sort of rule ecosystem. However,
Oh, okay.
some of their worst data sheets got a little bit of a buff. For example, the Knight Ruinator, the guy with the flamer no one took, used to be 2d6 attacks. It's now 6 plus d6.
Oh, that's very good.
The Knight Abominant's Volkite Combustor, previously an AP0 dev wound weapon, also now has Ignal's cover. So, there are things.
Fantastic. Huntsmans and Stalkers also got 5 points cheaper, because that will definitely matter.
Geez, that's really helpful. I think there is something to consider with these smaller point changes, though, and that's if you're doing like 1 DP detachments especially, there are upgrade enhancements, so units get a little bit more expensive for an extra ability if you want, but it's not necessarily a character receiving an enhancement. So, you might be opening yourself up to another enhancement with those kind of things.
Which does make a difference.
Yeah.
Or can, rather.
It can. Chaos Space Marines, a lot of the vehicles got more expensive. Like a lot of them, with the Red Corsair stuff changing a little bit as well. Defiler's got a little bit of a nerf. They already were a lot more expensive from 10th into 11th, being around the 300 plus point mark. And now they've lost the ability to reroll like a lot of their wound rolls when making dark packs. Yet all the other vehicles got made more expensive at the same time. So I don't think Chaos Marines have much of a vehicle identity at the moment.
Oh, that's a bit of a bummer.
Death Guard, they did get points buff.
Woo, we're cheaper.
What I meant to say about the nerf is that Death Shroud can now only come down with that closer 6 inches ingress, that ability that you like so much. That closer proximity only applies in your movement phase. So if you're rapid ingressing, it's not closer.
Oh, okay. Oh, I double cheated. Fair enough.
No, that's new, Zach. That's new now.
Okay.
And then the other sort of monocult factions, Emperor's Children actually moved off of Purge the Foe for several of their detachments, which is actually good because Emperor's Children might not actually want to be so out in the open killing things. They want to kill very specific things at a specific time. So that's actually not too bad. Small points changes.
A little more surgical.
Yeah, exactly. More surgical. A lot of their points for characters got a smidge cheaper. Great. Thousand Suns struggling a little bit by the looks of things. A lot of points nerfs across the board. So many units got made more expensive.
Yeah, wow.
And so I think they're being sort of shoehorned into a couple little play styles. But with that said, Thousand Suns were doing really well with their whole nearly army-wide psychic keyword ignores modifiers. So, supposedly World Eaters were really struggling because high ballistic skill into cover now really sucks. But they had so many melee units get cheaper. Angron is 20 points cheaper. 8 bounds are 10 points cheaper for 3, 15 for 6. The Lords got 10 points a pop cheaper. You could probably fit a whole unit, if not 2, into a World Eaters list now. Yeah, I think Chaos are maybe in a little bit of a struggle right now compared to some other factions like the Imperial side of the coin, which always happens.
Yeah, that's no good.
By the end of 10th, it was Chaos City, baby. Chaos all the time.
Yeah, feels bad, but we will rise again.
We will rise again.
I suppose.
Into the Xenos side of things, sir. Aeldari, heaps of things got made a little bit cheaper, which means there are now heaps of ways to really fluff up your list. Corsairs, Zach. Corsairs are cheaper by a little bit.
Heck yeah.
Some Harlequins are a bit cheaper. Avatar of Cain, Zach, is cheaper.
Woo.
Oh, Wraith Knights.
Warp Spiders.
Yeah. Oh, actually, I think they got more expensive. Warp Spiders.
They
did get cheaper. Never mind me.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, Wraith Knights, good stuff. They're cheaper now.
Cool. Heck yeah.
If you were taking 3 Wraith Knights, you now have a spare 90 points.
Girl math.
Girl math.
That's crazy.
But yeah, I think Aeldari needed a point change up, they were not having a whole lot of great options for list building. And I know like 5 points here, 10 points there is not much, but it adds up when you're doing like 2K games.
It definitely adds up. And like you said, the ability to add another enhancement in.
Chukari had a little bit of an Emperor's Children change up with some of their purge detachments going into other dispositions. And instead of characters getting cheaper, several of their transports got cheaper, or points change, I should say. So that's good. Good for the transport faction. Genestealer cults. Oh, this one's an interesting one. So do you know how Genestealer cults have as a faction rule the cult ambush mechanic?
Yes.
Yeah, so they have a pool of points. When a unit dies, you can spend points to put a new unit of them in reserves.
Yes.
Yeah. So now that does not count, and it never really counted for the character side. Like if you have a leader, like they don't get to come back. But now you cannot get a new unit of the cult ambush unless the character that was leading that unit has also died, because they're one unit now.
Oh, okay.
So like, let's say you have a bunch of aberrants who are being led by the aberrant leader. If the aberrants die but not the leader, you can't get new aberrants just yet until the leader's dead. Like that kind of thing.
So it's just a little bit different in the way that it operates.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think overall, though, GSC are actually in a pretty good place. I think
very good.
They have I think they're the least played faction. And so you don't really feel like their power until it's kind of too late, which feels very Genestealer cults.
Yeah. Well, it is the start of the edition. It won't be until the end of the edition that we actually know that they're there. So
it's true. Leagues of Votann, not too much change for them, actually. They're a very neutral kind of faction, not too high, not too low. Orcs had a lot of points nerfs to things like big mechs, other mechs, war bosses, a lot of the characters, really. But worth noting that Green Tide has now become a 3 DP detachment instead of being 2.
That feels fair.
Yeah, and then a lot of the various abilities of units got a little bit of a change. So if you play Orcs, have a really hard read, because there's over 10 updates to datasheets, which we won't really get into for time's sake. But yeah, I think Orcs are still really good, but I think they won't be so good. There was a new detachment, the Equatorial Hordes, that made the idea of Green Tide even scarier, with scouts being added to units. And now that Green Tide is 3, you won't have that issue. Necrons, we've already kind of talked about Necrons with the whole characters and reanimation stuff. A couple of rules cleanup has occurred, but overall, just really Silent King play styles and big vehicles. And then the Destroyer cult side of things has become a little bit more nerfed in its points. However, the Cursed Legion had an enhancement that I find really fun, Murder Mind, which you gave to a Cryptek to join them into Destroyer cults. Now also turns that Cryptek into a support unit. So you can attach one to a unit that also has a Destroyer Lord. That is spicy.
That sounds pretty fun.
And that's a method of balance that I was not expecting. Changing the leader support of a unit. That's really fun.
Mm-hmm. That's really good. Awesome to see that.
Tau was another one of those top 5 factions, but a lot of the sort of vehicles have become more expensive. As well, the Twin Lance, who every time there's a balance update gets more expensive.
As they should.
As they really should. As well, Retaliation Carter, which was the Battlesuits detachment, is now a 3DP, which I think's good, because they are like the most powerful way to play Tau in a lot of lists when you look at it. Or Montcar, because of Assault. But Ret Carter is crazy.
I was really surprised to see the Tiger Shark points jump up by 50 points until I realized that it was like the knight equivalent of a flyer for Tau. So that's fine.
Yeah, I understand. I understand what you mean. And then Tyranids, just a little bit of point changes for the worse, more or less. Just the bigger side of things, the big psychic bugs, which was actually the playstyle I was most interested in. Maliceptor up by 10, Neuro up by 15. Zones are down by 10. They're fine. Not too much has happened with Tyranids. But you know what? That's kind of it.
That's it.
I mean, there's so much we skimmed, but if you play a faction, go read your faction pack. But what are your thoughts on this overall, my friend?
You know what? I think, just to echo what Josh said, yes, you should go read your rules before playing the game so that you are familiar with the rules. A1. As for my thoughts, I think it's good. I think some of the changes that we've seen demonstrate the ways in which they intend to change stuff. I don't think that there was anything particularly egregious, which was really good. Yeah, I think it's a, maybe not everyone made it out like a superstar winner, but I think that as time goes on, the game will get more balanced. And this was a good first patch after the game's latest edition release.
100p, Zaki brah. 100p.
Did you have anything that you wanted to add?
No, I think throughout the episode here, I've said pretty much all that I wanted to really say about it, that they're adjusting all the knobs. And I think it's really wonderful. They are doing the things we wondered if they would do, and now we know that they will do it. And we don't have to bemoan certain playstyles being completely thrown out the window or in fashion because of 1 to 2 levers of balance. Now there's like 4 to 5.
Yeah. And don't get too upset if things get changed a lot at the moment. It'll eventually calm down and it will, things will level out.
What do you mean? I'm flipping pissed that my Fusillade cheat code is out of the game, sir.
My Miracle Dice!
My Miracle Dice. My slow-rolling, vaguely cheating faction rule, brother.
Not my T3 girlies that I always roll 6s on.
No.
What do you mean?
Not my T3 girlies.
Oh.
Not my war suits with 4-up invuln and 5-up Fiono pains. Oh
no.
You run your shiny new Agrodon, Corsair, Dragon Knight proxies into my battle suits and I say nay. Multi-melt in the face, actually.
I literally have tears in my eyes. Why would you do this?
All my hard work.
Hey, Zach, those models that you spent months kit bashing? Yeah, they're dead. I looked at them.
It's like when I play Magic, I'm like, I just spent hours putting this deck together.
Oh, no.
Anyway, I came forth in the 4-player pod. Oh,
damn.
Anywho, I think that should be it for us today, sir.
Very good. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Go read the book.
Yeah, Zach, go read. No. Okay. All right, everyone. Peace out. Love and peace. Peace be upon you. May your games be good ones. Have fun reading your rules.